So yesterday you learned how to write an equation, right? So we used a graph, we used tables, we used ordered pairs. Today is pretty much the exact same lesson, except there's one major difference. You remember how your ordered pairs yesterday, I'll just write it on this slide. You remember how they looked something like this, 2, 4, and say 0, -6. Okay. Go ahead real quick, just anywhere on the top of your notes. Can you go ahead and find the slope just real quick? Let's go ahead and write the equation. This will just be a quick review, and then we'll talk about how today's lesson differs from yesterday's lesson. -6, so m equals -6 minus 4 over 0 minus 2. So this is -10 over -2, which is 5. Okay? So now I have all the information I need. What is the equation in slope-intercept form, Micah? Okay, y equals 5x minus 6. Because I had an ordered pair that had 0, I know that the y value is my y-intercept. And now I can write my equation. So that's what I learned yesterday. And the difference with the problems you'll see today is we no longer have 0 in one of our ordered pairs. So 0 tells me, okay, the other number's the y-intercept. So now I have to use something called point-slope form to figure out my y-intercept. All right, that's the whole concept for today. That I can't just look at the ordered pairs or look at the table and know my y-intercept. So now I have to use an equation. Did you guys hear what I said? Yes. Okay. All right, so I need a formula. Your point-slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All right? Now, there's two built-in parts to the formula that'll never change. The y and the x. Those are like fixed, okay? So there's no numbers getting plugged in for those variables. But do I have the tools to solve for m using my formula or rise over run? Yeah. And then x1, y1 should look familiar because that's like ordered pair values, okay? All right, so let's see how this looks in an example. In example 1, all right, the instructions are important, okay? Because on your quiz and your test also, it's going to be written one of two ways. If it says write an equation in point-slope form, all it is the substitution, all right? So it's like you're substituting, but you're not solving. You're literally just plugging in the numbers, okay? So if it says write the equation in point-slope form, we're plugging in the numbers. I need you to write the formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So now I'm going to use this information up here to plug in my values where they need to go. X1, Y1. Okay, so my ordered pair still follows the same sequence. All right, and again, the first Y is just a part of my formula. Minus, which one of my values was Y1?
Yeah. No.
1. Equals M. Did it give me M?
Yes.
What's my slope? 2/3 times X minus, what's my X1 value? -6. So the minus is a part of the formula, so if I have to plug in a negative, what happens? It becomes a positive. All right? And now I have written my equation in point-slope form. Okay? That's all I have to do. Now, if it had said slope-intercept, I would have had to solve for y, but that's not coming until a little later. Okay? So write the equation in point-slope. All I'm doing is taking the information I have and plugging it in. Okay? Any questions? All right, you're about to do one. Okay, so here's your information. I need you to write the equation, and you can underline point slope form. So right there, it tells me I'm substituting, but I'm not solving. Okay, I'm not solving for y. So just plug these numbers in and write it in point slope form, please. All right, let's say it together. Y minus 2 equals negative 4 times x minus 1. Okay, so this is point slope form. Now let me kind of give you a preview of what would happen if I were to say slope intercept in the instructions. This is what you're about to see. So now if it says slope intercept, I would distribute this side. What would be negative 4 times x?
Negative 4.
Negative 4x. What's negative 4 times negative 1?
Negative 4.
Positive 4. Then once it's distributed, what would I need to do to this side? Okay, so then how would I get y by itself over here? I would add 2. Okay, so that's where we're headed with it. Okay, for now, if it says point slope, this is where I stop. Okay, this is where I stop. So I'm just plugging in the numbers into my formula. All right. Now this should look familiar because we had problems like this yesterday where we have a table of values and I need to write the equation. Now it says in slope intercept form. Okay, so that's actually what I was just kind of talking to you guys about. All right, but before we worry about that, we need to find the slope. Okay, so that's always the first thing we do, no matter what information is here. Okay, the first thing we have to do is find the slope. So what I would suggest is that you pull out the first 2 ordered pairs, negative 1, 10, and 2, 4. Pull them out and use them to find your slope. Negative 1, 10, and 2, 4. Okay, plug them into your slope formula and find your slope, please. Okay, so m equals, what goes in the numerator, Mason? What goes on top?
4 minus 10.
4 minus 10. Very good. Nick, what goes in the denominator?
2 minus 1.
Yes, minus negative 1, which changes to a positive. Negative 6 over 3. Can I reduce that? Not change it to a mixed number, but negative 2 over 1, or just negative 2. Okay, so if this was yesterday, I would now go back to my table of values and find the one that had an x value of 0 to find my y-intercept. Do I have an x value of 0 here? So that's where, okay, yesterday I always had that 0 that I could find the y-intercept. Today, I don't have that. So now I need to use point slope form. Hear me on this, guys. You can choose any one of the 3 ordered pairs for point slope. I'm just going to choose the first one. You need 1 ordered pair from the values for point slope. All right? So I picked the first one. Do you see how I just wrote as a reminder to myself the x1, y1? Okay, I need you guys focused. All right? So now that I have my ordered pair, and now that I have my slope, I can plug that information into point slope. So here we go. Y minus, according to my first ordered pair, what is my y1? 10. And again, I could have chosen any ordered pair as long as I used the same x and y from the same ordered pair. I could have chosen the second one if I wanted to. Okay? Equals m. Did I solve for m?
Yes. Negative 2.
Yep. Negative 2 times x minus, what's x1? Negative 1. So it's a plus. Okay? Now, in the other examples, this is where I stopped. Here's why I need to keep going. It says to write it in slope-intercept form. Is this in slope-intercept form?
No.
No, it's not. I have to solve for y. But before I can do that, I must distribute. Okay? So negative 2 times x is
Negative 2x.
negative 2x. Negative 2 times positive 1 is
2. The positive, not negative 2.
negative 2. Now bring down the other side, y minus 10. Okay? So I distributed. Now, what would be my last step to get y by itself? What is it? What is it? Add 10. Add 10. Now, on the other side, would I add 10 to negative 2x? Is that like terms?
No.
No, I would add 10 to the number. Okay, I would add 10 to the number plus 10. So y equals, yay, slope-intercept, negative 2x. What's negative 2 plus 10?
8.
Plus 8. And now it's in slope-intercept. Okay? So if it had said point slope, I could have stopped here. But if it's slope-intercept, I have to keep solving for y until I get down to the end.